All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to Easy Money, a sports betting show. Excuse me, Thursday, April 20th, 2023. Um, I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez. Had another good night last night. I went 7-1.
I went 7-2.
Only one I lost was the damn over under on the Lakers and Grizzlies game.
I went 3-0 on my baseball, 2-1 on my hockey, and 2-1 on my NBA.
I was 3-0 on baseball, 3-1 on NBA.
I've done pretty good on my baseball in the last 3 days. I went 8-1 on my baseball.
Yeah, I've done real good the last 3 days. See, that brings my year total up to 217 and 180. Got another pretty good slate of games today. Got 3 more NBA playoff games. Of course, got some more Major League Baseball. I'm sure you got some NHL playoffs still.
Yep.
Heard there was some pretty good NHL games last night.
Yeah, I know Frankie's probably really depressed. His Bruins got beat. His Lakers got beat.
Yeah.
And Mathis was really upset.
That's what I heard.
His Kings got beat. His Lakers got beat. His Dodgers got beat. The Angels got beat. He's depressed. He got mad, threw his jersey off. And
yeah, I heard he was really upset about the Lakers. It's like, and my thing was, it's like, you guys,
you won.
Did you guys really think that the Lakers was going to sweep them? I mean, if you did, you're delusional. I mean,
well, if it happens, it happens. You can't get
the Lakers. Don't. I mean, the way the Lakers have played this season, you shouldn't have thought they were going to come in and sweep anybody.
Coming into the starting there, your goal was to at least go 1-1, and go home 1-1 at least, and that's what they did.
Hey, how's it going, Billy?
So I mean, I think they did what they set out to do. I mean,
they didn't play good last night. They didn't.
Well, it's all AD's fault.
The biggest problem was they didn't play with no energy. You can't. It was almost like they thought that they were just could show up and they were going to win because they had some guys out and
the people,
there's stars in the NBA, but there's no terrible basketball players in the NBA. All these guys can play, even if they might not average 20 points a night. They can still play. It's just that's not their role.
And plus, it's playoffs, and they're going to try to step up.
And Lakers just, to me, I watched most of that game. To me, they just didn't come out with no energy.
Now, do you agree with them trying to say it's AD's fault?
I don't know. I don't think it was all AD's fault. He didn't play well last night. No, but like I said, they just didn't look like they had energy on defense, even on the defensive side. They just didn't have it as a whole team. They didn't play with energy. Now they need AD to play better if they're going to win. Yes, he can't be going 4 for 14 and expect for the Lakers to win a lot of games.
Why would the Suns be disappointed? It's 1-1, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I know. I mean, you would like to be 2-0, but I mean, it's 1-1. There's, the Warriors are down 0-2. You'd have to say the Warriors at this point. They're down.
Billy said he's discussed with Ohtani and Trout, had guys in scoring position. They both struck out late in game. They cost me a 14 parlay, laughing out loud. See, I can see being a little disgusted with them there.
Yeah.
But just because the team loses, some of these people, man, calm down. I mean, hell, if you're supposed to be a fan of a team, if I got mad and threw a fit every time one of my teams lost, I'd never have a good day.
I do. I mean, I'm a big sports fan. Have been forever, ever since I can remember. And but I just have never. I did one time Pacers Knicks in the 90s. I was eating steak and got upset and didn't chew up my steak and about choked to death, about died. I mean, I had to have the Heimlich done on me or I'd have been dead. So I will say that. So that taught me a lesson. So no, I don't get upset anymore.
Some of them Knicks Pacers series in the 90s would get you upset over.
It was some wars, man. That's what I miss.
Who was more disappointed, Suns or Warriors? So that's where you got that from.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, right now you'd have to say the Warriors because they're down 0-2.
Yeah, I mean,
Suns. I mean, they were playing. Where were they playing? They were playing in Phoenix, right? Yeah,
Yep.
they were playing in Phoenix. So yeah, you'd like to win both, but
it's
you
NBA.
split. Here, the Suns' biggest problem is going to be, to me, watching that last game against the Clippers is their depth. They if they don't get more from their bench, I think they're going to struggle. They might get by the Clippers, but they're going to struggle moving forward. I think you can't just depend on your starters to do everything. Honestly, I think the Clippers probably would have won the game two if Paul George was playing. I think that's really hurting the Clippers right now. Just on you don't have you can double team Kawhi and you don't have that other player you have to be scared of. Because if you look at the two teams, they're kind of the same. The Suns have two explosive wing players in Booker and Durant. Clippers have two explosive wing players in Kawhi and Paul George. The difference is the Clippers are deeper bench wise. Yeah. But Clippers, of course, are missing one of their players right now.
Another thing that you brought up yesterday is the fact that Phoenix's coach is still trying to figure things out. I mean, he's playing a bunch of players, playing 10, 11 players.
Yeah, you don't see that in the playoffs.
You know, and he's playing players that really didn't play a lot. So, I mean, that's kind of different. That's kind of weird. I mean, maybe he's just trying to figure things out, like you said. So if they can win this series and get into a row, I think they could be dangerous. But I mean, then the Clippers are a good team. I mean, it ain't like they're playing.
Yeah, it's a 4 and 5 seed. I mean, so it's not like.
And how many games has oh, I can't think of his name right now. I'm terrible, Chris. The dude that got traded there.
Or traded where?
To Phoenix.
Kevin Durant?
Yeah, Durant. What he ain't played that many games. Yeah. You know, so I mean, no,
because he got hurt.
So there's
and here's the thing that cracks me up. People act like it's disappointing because it's 1-1. Suns were 45 and 37 in the regular season. Clippers were 44 and 38 in the regular season. I mean, you know, it's not like it's a 1 seed against the 8 seed, and the 8 seed is putting the 1 seed on their back, looking like they're going to beat them. It's a 4 and 5 seeds. I mean, these teams are pretty evenly matched teams.
If somebody wants to say somebody be disappointed, Memphis should be disappointed, right? They're playing the 7th seed. I mean, if you're going to, I mean, you know what I'm saying? They're playing the 7th seed, you're 2 seed, and you lost the game at home already. But you know, the thing for them to do is come back.
Damien, to answer your question, I would say the Warriors because you're down 0-2, and then now you're going into game 3 without one of your important players, especially on the defensive end. So yeah, I would say the Warriors, which I still have the Warriors win. I still have the Warriors winning tonight.
But Warriors was what? 6 seed, what?
I think so.
They're playing a 3 seed.
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing a team that was better. They're playing a team that was better than them all year long. I mean, I know they're the defending champions, and I know the players that they got on their team, but
which their records went only like a 4-game difference.
Yeah.
Because you had all those teams that was packed together there in the West. But Clippers played more consistent, especially on the road. I mean, that's what's really which we'll talk about that in a minute. But when we get to that game, hey, how's it going, Glenn? And he says, "You guys know which days you're going to be at Comic-Con? We're going to be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Glenn. We're going to be there
5th, 6th, and 7th.
Yeah, we'll be there all 3. We're going to be there all weekend. Now, all the times of when the times of the shows and stuff, I don't know that yet. I know there's going to be some shows during the day, then the bigger show, of course, will be in the evening. Not sure on all the show times yet, but yes, we'll be there. Actually, we'll be there going down the setup on Thursday, so we'll be there basically 4 days in a row. But right, well, all right, get to. Pull the odds up. We'll go ahead and get to today's games. I got a few baseball games. Yep. And then you have, oh, what was that?
I don't know.
Something just popped. Glenn, I'll get with you guys on that. Sounds good. Yeah, unfortunately, there ain't or no Warrior Pro this weekend, so that kind of changed plans for that.
Yeah.
Don't know, still not 100% sure what was going on there, but we'll start in baseball today. Not as big of a slate of baseball games today as normal.
Yep.
A little bit lighter day today means you probably have a lot of days, a lot of teams on travel today.
Yeah. I noticed yesterday was a lot of day games, which is odd for a Wednesday because usually Thursdays is a lot of day games.
See, today there wasn't hardly no day games. Most of them are you have one game on right now, and then the other games you got a game that starts at 4, and the rest of them are starting evening. Of course, the Reds start at 6:30.
Pittsburgh, right?
Yep. We got one game going on right now. Minnesota Twins at the Boston Red Sox. Red Sox are up 10-1 in the top of the 7th inning. Red Sox are 8.5-run favorites. The live odds over-unders at 13.5 runs.
See, like a lot of runs being scored this year so far. Doesn't it seem that way to you?
Yep. Well, I think that's a combination of no shift, so some of the base hits that used to get taken away aren't getting taken away, and teams are still trying to steal bases more as well.
Yeah, some teams are really stealing bases.
And I don't know what the big difference is in that, because you can't. I know some people say because they made the bases bigger, but making the bases bigger by an inch or 2 inches, what it was, that to me that don't make.
Well, you can only throw over to the first base so many times, right?
Yep.
So I mean that can make a little bit of difference as far as holding the guy on. A little bit.
Well, well, I don't know if you can only throw over there twice. I think you can only. What is it? I might have to look that up because you can throw over there, but I think the third time you have to throw or something. It's something like that. Something more. It's something that they done so that pitchers, if the pitch clock was getting down, they just couldn't throw over there.
Yeah.
It might be if you don't get them out or something. There's something there, but yeah, I think it is twice, but I can't remember the exact rule off the top of my head. If Warriors don't make the finals and win, is Kerr on the hot seat? No, Kerr's not in the hot seat. If they don't win the finals this year, if they don't make the finals and win.
They've had a lot of injuries.
They won a championship last year.
They've had some injuries this year.
Yeah, I don't think he's on the hot seat.
What, but Chris, is there any logical reason why they've been so bad on the road? What do you think they've been bad? Defense?
Defense has been their biggest problem the whole season, and for some reason it even gets worse on the road.
It's just weird for a team that was so good, both home and away. Why it fell so bad this year?
Yeah.
And injuries can make a difference. I mean,
Kerr won't be on the hot seat. They'll have a statue for him before that happens.
Yep.
All right. But in baseball today, games I like. First game is going to be Reds at the Pirates. Pirates are 1.5-run favorites. Minus 164 on the money line. The Reds are plus 138 on the money line. Over-unders at 9 runs. Reds are 7-11 on the season. 1-5 on the road. They have not played well on the road. Pirates are 12-7. They're 3-3 at home. They've actually played better on the road than they have at home.
Yeah, that's weird.
I'm gonna take the Cincinnati Reds.
I am too.
At the plus 1.5.
I'm taking Reds money line, baby.
The way the Reds season's been going, they'll play a couple good games, then they'll get blown out a couple games, and they'll play a couple good games.
Yeah, and then blown out again.
So I'm kind of relying on that to keep that pattern, because we blew the Rays out, then we got blown out twice by the Rays. So I think we might get a big win today. But I like the plus 1.5, because even when jokingly just saying the Reds have got blown out last 2 games, they have, but they've lost a lot of games this year by 1 run, 2 runs. There hasn't been a whole lot. It ain't like they've got blown out a lot this year.
What did you say the record was? 7-11?
The Reds, yes.
They could easily be 11-7.
Yes.
They really could.
And that's what I'm saying.
But, I mean, that's with a lot of teams.
They've lost a lot of one-run games. That's why I like that's one reason I like the +1.5.
They've blown a lot of leads with middle relief.
So I like the Reds at the +1.5. Then I'm gonna take the Rockies and you got the Rockies at the Phillies. Phillies are 1.5 run favorites, -235 on the money line. Over under for this is at 9. You have excuse me. Rockies are 5-14 on the season, 2-7 on the road. The Phillies are 8-11 on the season, 3-3 at home. You have Feltner on the mound for the Rockies. He has an 8.78 ERA. You have Strom on the mound for the Phillies. His ERA is 2.13. I like the pitching matchup for the Phillies. I like the Phillies at home. I'm going with the Phillies at the -1.5. You have the Dodgers at the Cubs. This is a game I'm not giving out a pick on. But the Dodgers are 1.5 run favorites, -102 on the money line. Cubs are -116 on the money line. Over unders at 11. Cubs are actually having a pretty good season. I think they're 11-6 or 12-6 or something like that. So they've got off to a decent start. Dodgers have been struggling.
Yep.
I kind of favor the Cubs in this at the +1.5 being at home. But like I said, it's not a game I'm giving a pick out on. Next game I'm going to give a pick out on is going to be the Padres at the Diamondbacks. Padres are 1.5 run favorites. They're -144 on the money line. The Diamondbacks are +122 on the money line. Over under in this game is at 10 runs. The Padres are 9-11 overall, 4-3 on the road. They'll have Wacha on the mound tonight, who has a 6.06 ERA. The Diamondbacks are 11-8 on the season, 5-2 at home. They'll have Nelson on the mound tonight, who has a 3.71 ERA. I like the Diamondbacks in this game at the +1.5. They have the better pitcher on the mound. They've been playing well at home. Diamondbacks have actually looked pretty good this season for the most part. I was kind of surprised that the Diamondbacks are home underdogs in this game to the Padres, who've been kind of up and down, and Padres have some injuries. I like the Diamondbacks at the +1.5. And then last game for Major League Baseball, you have the New York Mets at the San Francisco Giants. The Mets are 1.5 run favorites, -122 on the money line. The Giants are +104 on the money line. Over-unders at 8 runs. The Mets are 12-7 on the season, 8-5 on the road. Mets are 4-1 over their last 5 games. They'll have a Singo on the mound who has a 3.38 ERA. The Giants are 6-11 on the season, 2-4 at home, 1-4 over their last 5 games. And they have Manea on the mound tonight, who has a 4.76 ERA. I like the Mets here on the money line at the -122. So that's going to be my MLB picks. Reds +1.5, Phillies -1.5, Diamondbacks +1.5, and the Mets on the money line.
My MLB for tonight parlay, I got Cincinnati money line at Pittsburgh. I got Colorado at Philadelphia money line, and the Mets money line at San Francisco.
You say you took Colorado?
No, I took Philadelphia.
Okay.
I took Philadelphia money line.
So we're both the same on those. Well, same teams winning. I took -1.5 on that one, but
originally I thought you said money line.
On which one?
Philadelphia. I was like when you first gave it out. When you said it the second time, you said
okay, yeah, -1.5.
Yeah, but the first time I thought you said money line.
I might have on accident, but yeah, -1.5 is what I had wrote down.
I'm gonna go ahead and do my hockey real quick. I got Tampa Bay at Toronto. I'll take Toronto money line. I got the Rangers money line at New Jersey, and I got Seattle at Colorado. Colorado money line.
All right. And hockey playoffs have been crazy from what I'm understanding. I don't watch much hockey, but I know last night we got ready to do the show after the GSR last night. After Jay had me thinking that something was wrong with my stuff because he said he couldn't hear me, and I'm restarting everything, and it was something on his end. But he said, "I can't hear you. My volume's turned up." Well, found out it was something on his end, but then when we first started talking, I guess the Stars was up like 4-0, 4-1. We started talking it. We got to be 4-3. He said he's gonna quit talking to me because I was bad luck. He was freaking out a little bit, but they had to. I think the Stars ended up holding on and winning, if I remember correctly. But yeah, he was worried, and I saw some highlights. Saw the Bruins got beat. So
yeah, Bruins got I think 6-3. Florida come on them. Florida took care of them pretty well.
Damien, to answer your question real quick before I jump in the NBA. What's your thoughts on the sticky gloves controversy? I'm kind of waiting until I hear more, until I see what happens here when he appeals it, and if the suspension, he does get suspended, because it sounds awful fishy to me that you have for one, like 3 or 4 people have been ejected for this over the last so many seasons, and all 4 of them been by the same umpire, the one guy. But they had Scherzer go wash his hands because they said it was too sticky. He went and washed his hands. There was according to this is what Scherzer said during his live interview right after the game. There was an MLB person there in the dugout watching him. Went to the club, went with them, washed his hands with alcohol, came back out. They said he was still too sticky. He said, "I've done what you guys told me to do. I washed my hands with alcohol, applied in resin." Well, then the umpire said his glove was too sticky because of resin. So he told me how to get a new glove. Went and got another glove. Done what they told him to do. That was too sticky. So to me, if there was an MLB person watching everything he done, to me it's going to be hard, and he didn't break any rules. How it's going to be hard to me for you to suspend him for 10 games. To me, it don't make a lot of sense the way it happened, especially if there's an MLB person there, official watching. Yeah. It's like, and for it to be the same umpire every time that this has happened, and it had, it ain't happened to Scherzer every time, but
same
different
umpire,
players, the same umpire. So for it to be the same guy, and you're not, and no other as many umpires and stuff that there is in Major League Baseball, and many games played, to me that'd be awful hard for that just to be a coincidence. I mean,
yeah.
So I'm kind of waiting to see. What comes more out of it. Well, more information comes out of it, because it just, from what I've seen of it, just don't make a lot of sense. Because if there was really an MLB official in there, and like Scherzer said, he goes, I'd have to be the stupidest person in the world with an MLB official sitting there to go get a new glove and try and put something on it and try to do something. He goes, I'd be So it's going to be interesting to see. Billy, a pitcher gets 3 attempts to pick off a runner first base. 3rd attempt, the pitcher don't get the player out, the player gets the next base. Okay, yeah, that's what I knew it was something like that.
I think that makes it a little bit of a difference.
So yeah, after you get 2, you can throw over there on that 3rd one. If you don't get him out, he gets a base. It does make, I think where it makes the biggest difference isn't really the throwing, really like with the pitcher trying to pick guys off, is it can help the base runner on his timing, because if the pitcher's already thrown over there twice,
and I think the pitch
he might get a little bit bigger lead, because he's not going to think the guy's going to take that chance to try to throw it over there again. I think
the pitch count makes a difference too, because I mean, once that clock starts running down, the pitcher's going to have to pitch the ball, and so that gives that, because before they could take forever.
Yeah,
and I think that makes a difference.
I can too. I think it helps the runner get better timing.
I'm glad there's more stolen bases. I wish there was more bunts.
You said we've seen more bunts this year than normal.
I know
than we had in the last few years. But
I mean, I'm old, so I was more used to the hit and run and the bunts and the stuff. So I missed a lot of that. So I'm glad they're going back to that. Now, if we could just get the NBA to play defense, I might be happy. Watch more NBA.
some of this home run shit in Major League Baseball is funny. You got Viking hats, tridents.
Started in if I remember right, college football, wasn't it? Yeah. Some of that stuff.
But NBA tonight, got NBA playoffs, 3 games tonight. 76ers at the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets, or excuse me, the Sixers are 4.5-point favorites. That's actually went down a little bit. Minus 198 on the money line. The Nets are plus 166 on the money line. Over under for this game is at 210. That's all right. So the spread went down 0.5 point, so it's now at 4.5. But the over under went up 0.5 point to 210 because it was at 209.5.
So it's 210.
Yes. 76ers 54-28 in the season, 25-16 on the road. They lead the playoff series 2-0. They're 4-1 over their last 5 games, and they've won 3 straight games versus the Nets by 12 or more points. One in the regular season, one was won their last couple games of the regular season, and of course these first 2 games in the playoffs. The Nets are 45-37, 23-18 at home, 2-3 over their last 5 games. I like the 76ers at the minus 4.5. I just don't think the Nets have enough to stay with the 76ers. And if you look at it, James Harden hasn't played well, and the 76ers have still been able to control these games. So I like the 76ers at the minus 4.5. I also like the over the 210. 2 of the last 3 games that the 76ers and Nets have played against each other. One was a regular season game that took place, I think like April 7th or April 8th, something like that. Then the last 2 playoff games, 2 of the 3 have been over. Well, it was 2. I did have 209.5 for that, but over 210. So I like the over the 210 in this one. Last time it didn't go over didn't hit the over. I think this time it's going to be a little higher scoring game. So I like the over the 210. Next game, Sacramento Kings at the Golden State Warriors. The Kings are, excuse me, I almost said that wrong. The Warriors are 6.5-point favorites. That's actually went up. It was 6. It was at 6 earlier. Minus 260 on the money line. The Kings are plus 215 on the money line. Over under for this game is at 240.5. That's a lot of points. The Kings are 48-34 on the season, 25-16 on the road. They are 2-3 over their last 5 games, and they lead the playoff series 2-0. The Warriors are 44-38 on the season, 33-8 at home. They're 3-2 over their last 5 games. Draymond Green is out tonight after being suspended for giving the Seth Rollins stomp to Sabonis, which I still don't completely agree with the suspension, but it is what it is. There's consequences to your reactions, and that ended up being the consequence this time. But the Warriors beat the Kings by 21 at home right before the playoffs, and then they lost to them twice in a row on the road. I like the Warriors in this game, even without Draymond. For one, they're at home where they've only lost 8 games at all season. For 2, I think Steph Curry's gonna have a big night tonight.
What about that point spread though?
6.5. It worries me a little bit, but I'm gonna go with the 6.5. I'm gonna go with the minus 6.5 just because last time, like I said, these 2 teams played in Golden State won by 21. So I mean, Golden State, Golden State plays a lot better at home. Expecting a big game out of Steph, so I'm gonna go with the Warriors at the minus 6.5. But I'm not gonna lie, that spread does worry me a little bit on that. And then the last game of the night, which I think is going to be another good one to watch. I watched them the other night. You have the Phoenix Suns at the Los Angeles Clippers. The Suns are 3.5-point favorites, minus 176 on the money line. Over-unders at 226. The Clippers are plus 148 on the money line. These 2 teams split the first 2 games in Phoenix. Now they're going to Los Angeles. The Suns are 45-37 on the season, 17-24 on the road, 2-3 over their last 5 games. The Clippers are 44-38. on the season, 23-18 at home, and they're 4-1 over their last 5. Uh, I think it's going to be another real competitive game. I'm going to go with the Clippers at the +4. I like the Clippers at home. Felt like they had a good chance to win that second game. Kind of let it slip away in the second half. Now that you're at home, you still don't have Paul George, which is a concern. But I'm going to go with the Clippers at the +4.
What's the over and under on it?
Well, hold on. It just went to lock, so something's changing. So I'm not sure yet.
I had
Sure
it.
now.
I had it 226.5.
Okay, yeah. I think that I can't
That's
remember.
what I'll give it a ask because I mean that's what I had.
Well, like I said, it'll come up here in a second. When it comes back up, I'll let you know. That must mean they're changing something. But yeah, so then we're gonna be my picks for the NBA tonight. 76ers -4.5 and the over the 210 in that game. Kings and Warriors -6.5 and the Clippers +4.
Yeah, my NBA for tonight, I got Philadelphia at Brooklyn. I'll take the over the 210. I got Sacramento at Golden State under the 240.5, and I've got Phoenix at the Clippers. I'm gonna take the over. I had it at 226.5, but whatever it is, I'll stick with the over.
Yeah, well, like I said, give me a second. It should come back up here in a minute. You already done the hockey, didn't you?
Yep.
Okay. Well, was there anything else?
Yeah, I was going to ask you one question real quick. With the Nets, you give the record. They end up having a pretty good record, all things considered, even after losing the players that they lost. I don't remember what they're all getting back in return for them players. What do you think the future holds for the Nets? Do you think that they're building in the right direction to be a real good team? I mean, they're gonna surely they got some draft picks and stuff.
Yeah. I think they're building in the right direction. It's just it's hard for me to say that they're going to get it back or get going to the top level just because all the players you just had you couldn't get it done. I mean, you had KD, Harden, Irving. Now, don't get me wrong, you had problems with Irving, and then Harden kind of wanted out because of the stuff with Irving, and then then KD wants out. And I think they did hire. I think they did hire their own coach, going with Nash, going with an inexperienced guy when you have all the kind of egos on a team. I like what this new coach that Vaughn's been doing. So I think they're moving in the right direction. But a lot of it is, do you hit on your draft picks? That's going to be the big thing for them. Can you hit on them draft picks? We've seen teams.
Well, I mean, I think they made a pretty good recovery.
Oh yeah,
because most teams, if you lose all three of them players like that, you would think your team would be one of the worst teams in the division. So I mean, they've came out, made the playoffs still, and got a lot of draft capital, and have not played terrible. So I mean, I think they're definitely moving in the right direction. I mean, if I was a Nets fan, after that debacle of and I know they was excited. Oh, we got all these players, but you had three egos on there that are.
Suns and Clippers over is 225.
Okay.
Damn, that changed too. A lot. Now the Clippers +6.5. And the over under just went to 224. So it's going I wonder if something just happened.
You said it went to 220.
Yeah, just in that second, the over and under went down to 224. And the Clippers was at +4. Now they're at +6.5.
Did somebody else go out?
I don't know. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check and see if I can find anything. But I'm still right as of right now. I'm still gonna go to Clippers at the 6. I'll go Clippers at 6.5. But I'm wondering if something might have happened because
I don't know.
Things just changed all of a sudden. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything. Let's see real quick. Yeah, I'm not seeing the.
Oh, Kawhi Leonard out for tonight.
Where'd you see that?
2 minutes ago, right here. Los Angeles Clippers have ruled Kawhi Leonard out for tonight's game 3 matchup against the Phoenix Suns due to right knee sprain.
Are you?
2 minutes ago.
See,
That's what the change is.
See, I wasn't seeing that. My injury report thing was still saying nobody.
All right, there you go.
Sorry. Wow. I was just talking about how he's been playing good, and then he's not going to play a game. Well, fuck. I'm not taking the Clippers at plus 6.5 without Kawhi.
Why not?
They're already without Paul George. I think I'm
Gonna switch to the Phoenix. I think I'd switch to Phoenix without Kawhi.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back to it here. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Suns at the minus 6.5. I knew something had to change for all of a sudden to jump that many points, but like I said, I wasn't finding it. That's going to bring a lot more questions up about his toughness.
I mean, he played the whole game the other night, right? Hadn't heard anything about an injury or nothing. Well, the injury report 26 minutes ago had no mention of.
No,
that was 26 minutes.
Yeah, had
ago.
no mention of him at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
Only mention it was Paul George was out.
Paul George,
we already knew that,
and a guy on the other team was questionable and didn't play the last game.
So, I don't know. To me, these players have gotten soft. Yeah. I mean, at playoff time, unless you can't walk, usually you're playing. I mean, that's how it used to be. You know what I mean? Now it's my knee's a little tight. I don't think I want to play tonight. And I heard somebody say earlier today that a couple of years ago he was the best player in the world, and it's like to me he's never been the best player in the world. You can't be the best player in the world when you don't play.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Did he have the ability to be one to be maybe to get that level? Yes, but you can't be at that level if you're not playing. So, but before we get out here, my picks for tonight: NBA 76ers minus 4.5, over under 210, the over the 210. Excuse me. Warriors minus 6.5. The Suns minus 6.5. Now that Kawhi's not going to play.
So he aggravated his knee in game 1. He played game 2.
And now he's sitting out game 3.
Okay. Whatever.
Guess he must have re-aggravated it in game 2.
Yeah, evidently. Maybe aggravated it last night during the day off.
Then baseball, Reds plus 1.5, Phillies minus 1.5, Diamondbacks plus 1.5, and the Mets money line. My picks yesterday were 7-1. I'm 217 and 180 on the year. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode of Easy Money, a sports betting show. We'll give out picks for tomorrow's NBA playoff games, for Major League Baseball. I'll give out some picks for Saturday's UFC. And then I think we're going to do a watch along Saturday night for the UFC. I'll get more details out about that. No wrestling show this weekend. Supposed to have one on Sundays. It got postponed. Things happen. So we're going to be back. We'll be back there in May at that one. But we do have another wrestling show coming up here in just a couple weeks. So got a real big one coming up beginning of May, as we'll be at Indianapolis Comic-Con.
Yes.
For 3 days doing wrestling shows. So that'll be a big weekend, May 5th, 6th, and 7th. You'll be able to watch all that on YouTube at GonzoSportsRoom. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at GonzoSportsRoom. Like and follow Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all at GonzoSportsRoom. That's where I post all the information about our shows. Pro wrestlers out there, if you're listening to this, don't forget, you got tonight and tomorrow night to get your promos in. So make sure you get those sent in if you want to participate in that. And then check out Unscripted tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, as well. We
See, old Billy Buzz got the Phillies, the Pirates, the Cubs, and the Padres for his 14. I like it, except sorry, Billy, the Reds gonna take out them Pirates, man. We're gonna take them out.
I don't like I have the Diamondbacks. So he would a couple gets me on a couple of those.
Reds gonna take out them Pirates tonight.
I hope so.
You see how confident I sound.
But we appreciate everybody watching. We'll be back tomorrow right around 3:30 with another episode of Easy Money, a sports betting show. Hope everybody has a great Thursday. Enjoy the baseball and the NBA and the hockey, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.